Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Audible, Tiki Live, Rumble, JioSaavn, Podchaser, and more. Why so many places? I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So on this show, there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words. No Kanye talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. Why not 100% of the time? If you're happy 100% of the time, you're dead people walking. We cannot be 100%, but 88% is a pretty good number to hit. 8's a lucky number in Chinese. It's a homophone for good fortune. So claim your birthright here, starting the day with Dr. Marissa. And I'm so delighted you will recognize her here in studio today. She's here for the third time, and I actually got emotional when she came into the green room this morning because I don't get to see her in 3D that often, but I met her 8 years ago at the Conscious Life Expo when I was on UBN radio, just starting out. Can you believe it's almost 11 years now? 900, and today is not show 906, and she called me on my BS, my belief systems that were getting in my way 8 years ago. Her name is Dee Wallace. I'll give her a little more formal introduction after our breakfast with her, taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. But please welcome back to my studio for the third time, Dee Wallace. Whoop. Welcome.
Oh, it's so good to be here. What did I tell you all those years ago? I don't remember what I told you. Do you?
Well, yes, one that I had to slow down driving because I was moving too fast.
Yeah.
And that your constant message of self-love.
Yeah.
That I wasn't doing things out of self-love. I was doing things for self-approval, for others' approval. And that's what I remember.
None of us can identify with that, right? Yeah. So I'm going to take
let's go ahead and have breakfast.
Okay, let's.
Right. Why do you think that's the name of my show? All right. So, my breakfast with my guests consists of taking a bite of a gratitude sandwich. So 8 specific things that you're grateful for outside of yourself, and we'll go back and forth tag team, and then 8 specific things that you appreciate about yourself. And I know that you'll love that exercise because that's your message, right? We have to approve of ourselves. And if we can't, how the fork do we expect other people to approve of us? So that's the gratitude sandwich. I'll go ahead and start. So I am grateful that I have amazing people in my life like Dee Wallace who touch me in a significant way that they may not even know until I see them again. So I'm grateful for that. And what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for my life. I'm grateful that I'm here learning everything that I'm learning. exploring all my talents and opportunities to give and to receive. I just love my life.
I use hashtag I love my life, by the way.
You use it all you want, baby.
I'm grateful that the sun is shining today. I know we needed rain, but I'm solar powered. So I love the fact that I wake up and get to see the ocean of abundance and the sun is shining. Go ahead.
I am grateful for my beautiful daughter, the most important thing in my life. I just threw her wedding in the backyard. It was a perfect, perfect night.
Oh, and I'm grateful that I got to have your daughter on my show with her book. And I think you mentioned it's gone bestseller. So I am so grateful that not only do I meet great people, I get to bring their, kids and significant others and all of that onto the show. So congratulations to Danielle for sure. And what's the name of the book?
Again. It's Gabrielle Stone.
Tell me the name of the book.
Eat, Pray, #FML.
Great title.
It is, and it's helping so many women heal from broken relationships. So many, no matter what age. I'm just really proud of her. She's really kind of, well, I guess that this will be my next gratitude thing. I'm grateful that my daughter has learned and incorporated all of the powerful self-creation techniques that I've taught her all her life, and is really able to create in her own life powerful things through love.
Beautiful. My last gratitude is that I have a car to drive, even though the ironic part is I just picked up my car coming back from Toronto and had the little cosmetic stuff done and fixed everything. Last Tuesday morning, picked it up. Yesterday, an 18-year-old with his license the first day came out of the parking spot at the mall. I was going to look for a little trash can at Bed Bath & Beyond, and then boom, hit the car. So now it's going back in the shop. Well, so, I can't wait to see what good comes out of this. I'm grateful that I have a car, and it could be fault.
At least he hit someone who was kind and understanding, right? So I should be grateful for that, for sure. And well,
I have to credit him.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I have to credit him because he took responsibility. He said, "This is all me." Like there was no, this is, how did you do that or whatever. So I credit him for that.
You bet. And I'm grateful for a great night's sleep. This has been the last 7 days of my life. I threw a wedding for 500 people in my backyard, had a day to clean up, shot a movie for 3 days, got home at 10:30, left at 5 a.m. to do a great convention back in Cincinnati, Ohio. Took 2 planes to get home yesterday. And so I was just so thrilled. I slept 9 hours straight through. I feel like I've been reborn, Marissa. So be thankful for the small
things, That's awesome. Well, I'm really honored then that you could make it today for sure. After that schedule, I thought I was
always want to be with you.
God. Oh, you're going to make me emotional again. it's so, I just love life because, and I love my work because I get to cross paths with people. And, you're like a household name. You are on the map as the mom of E.T., that one of like the top movies of life. And I still cried even the second time I watched it, even when I knew he was coming back to life. Sorry, spoiler alert. And to get to visit with you, I saw your surprise to Drew Barrymore. Polly, my sound engineer, said, "Gosh, I forgot that was pretty much Drew Barrymore's, start into being the household name too." And what, I love you. And it's weird because I've only met you like over, just as a show guest, but it just, well, no, I met you in person the first time at Conscious Life Expo, but I just love actresses.
That's the beauty about love, is that you don't really have to have a reason to experience it. I think people are taught so many misconceptions about love. We're either trying to give love or get love. In reality, we just want to be love. We want to be the frequency of love. And then that goes into everything we do, everyone we speak with, everything we create, all our dreams and desires. If people would just love everything they want more, instead of being unhappy that they don't have it, if they would just feel into the love of having it, it would be created for them a lot easier.
Yeah, it's not something we're taught necessarily. And for the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma, which is the reason why I am doing what I'm doing, it's one of those, we develop BS, some belief systems that we don't deserve it, that we're not good enough for it, and that carries on. And so when you meet someone, and the reason why I'm emotional is the very first time I met you, I was all, doing my thing, and all from a base of looking for approval, and in all the wrong places and outside of myself, and not realizing the preciousness of who I was. And when you sat with me, and I'll have to get a clip from that. I meant to get it to show, but I've been traveling to just go back from Toronto. Yeah. And you basically just, stopped me and reminded me of who I am, and that moment began that journey. And, it was other, from that point. And then Michael Bernard Beckwith, my big brother, founder of Agape, one of the teachers from The Secret, really like just solidified that new BS, the new belief system for me. And what an amazing, like right now, like I know who I am. I know, I'm 88% fabulous, and 12% of the time I step in it and I'm okay. And that I'm so grateful for my life. I love my life. So thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for those kind words. We were obviously meant to come together that day. I actually have a shirt that says thankful for my life. And it's amazing the comments I get when I wear it when I travel. I'll see people read it and go, or I'll see people read it and go, wow, thank you. Or I'll see people read it and go, me too, thanks. But people, it's like a bumper sticker, if you wear it, people read it, and that's, even if they don't know they're claiming it for themselves, right? Reminding their brain.
Right.
And I think that's one of the really important things that people on the spiritual path need to understand, is that this isn't woo-woo happenstance stuff. This is all based in brain science. And brain science, religion, and spirituality were all saying the same thing. In the good book, Christ said, think only on these things: love, peace, joy. Okay. Brain science is whatever you think about, you create more of, right? And in spirituality, we talk about focusing on love and joy and peace and gratitude. So it's all the same thing, but it works because you are literally training your brain to create that for you. So a lot of people don't know that around a person's self-esteem, how we see ourselves in the world, and how we see the world seeing us, all locked into our brains by 8 years old, from conception to 8 years old. So if you're hitting a wall around something that you can't create, can't manifest, can't get yourself to do, go back and make a list of all the things that you were taught verbally and that were modeled in front of you. And you will see why you keep playing out the patterns in your life that you do. And once you know that, you can start retraining your brain to focus on the positive of what you want. A good example that I have in my life was, my dad was a severe alcoholic. I watched my very strong mother take care of him, take care of us, take care of him, take care of him. My father, or my grandfather, that we lived with my grandmother and grandfather because we didn't have a lot of money. And he had had severe strokes while I was very young. So I watched my grandmother take care of him, take care of him. So my message was, oh, I get it. Women take care of men. And it took me a long time in my relationships to realize I didn't want to create that anymore. I wanted a relationship where I was complete, they were complete, and together we came together in our completeness and served each other. So I'm telling you, that's one simple exercise of writing down, like, what were you taught about getting everything you want? I would bet my house that 90% of us were not taught, you're amazing, you're fabulous, ask for everything you want, sweetheart. You can have anything you want. You're worth it. And everybody's going to love you, and God's going to go, great for you. You asked for it. I don't know anybody that was taught that when we were little, because they weren't taught that, and their parents weren't taught that, and sins of the fathers, passed down. But the truth is, we're the gods of us on this plane. Nobody can think a thought for us, have a feeling for us, hold a belief for us that we do not choose. So the more you choose what you want and pair it up with love, the more the universe responds.
Beautiful. And that is my last appreciation, is that I know how to choose happiness. I know how to give myself a break. And I love the way that I use creativity in my dress. So you go. What are 3 things that you appreciate about yourself? And then we'll finish with breakfast and give you a formal introduction.
I appreciate that I'm a fabulous mother. I appreciate that I am a wonderful actress and healer. And I appreciate, whoa, here come the tears, my mommy.
Yay! I love it when my guests cry.
Yeah, everybody that I came from that taught me how to be who I am.
Thank you for crying, because that's a sign that your heart's open, and that tears are the disinfectant that keep our hearts soft. And I just love tears. I love that I see you and you see me. And isn't it wonderful? I think it's been a while since I've cried and the guest has cried. So there's a milestone.
Yeah,
but you just had breakfast with you've had breakfast with Dr. Marissa and Dee Wallace. Yay. Yay. You're so beautiful. You really are. Usually I wait till the end of the show. I want to give you the Dr. Marissa Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award again.
No.
Because I don't know any actress who's had Dee Wallace has the most credits of anyone living right now in film and TV and series and commercials. That's what Harlan told me. I was like, what?
And that's exactly what I said. What? But
I don't know any. I don't know any other actress or actor, for that matter, who is taking her limelight and sharing it in a way that is so healing for so many people. So that's why you got the award this time. And I love the fact that she owns the fabulousness that she is, especially the good mom part. And I've watched the 2 of them. It is truly beautiful to see the 2 of you love up on each other. So that's absolutely fabulous. And now let me put my glasses on. I just had eye surgery. And just those of you who have just joined in, you are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And today's guest is none other than Dee Wallace, internationally known for her 5 series, starred and appeared in 7 television series, over 400 commercials, as well as holding the record for any living actress with over 280 films, TV, movie credits, including Critters, Howling, The Howling, CUJO, The Frighteners, 10, The Hills Have Eyes, and the #1 blockbuster, E.T., The Extraterrestrial. Celebrated 40th anniversary. You saw her on Drew Barrymore, surprising her last year, 2022. She's an Emmy-nominated actress as well as a best-selling author and multinationally respected authority on the art of self-creation for over 30 years. A true tour de force in the industry, working with countless producers and directors, some of Hollywood's biggest names. I usually say Hollyweird, including Steven Spielberg, Peter Jackson, Wes Craven, Dante, Teague, Stephen King, Blake Edwards, and Rob Zombie. Dee has appeared on every major news and talk show and has been featured on True Hollywood Stories and Oprah and the Asian Oprah 3 times. As Dee expressed herself, she felt a connection to portraying Ms. J that gave her goosebumps, and that is a production that I think I didn't read the first part here, but she's she's got a new book out. She's written several books, and she is about to release. It's called Born, Born, and it is a book that she's going to be talking about today. She expands the concepts of law of attraction. You may have heard her start on that already, so she. I don't know if you know, I am also very steeped into the law of attraction now, and doing coaching in that as well, because it's made my life just so magnificent in the last probably 8 years. She simplifies everything you think you know about the power of self-creation. Book is not a book about affirmation, visionings, dark energy, self-protection, all of that. It is about directing energy, knowing neutrality, self-actualization, knowing who you are, power. So we'll hear more about that and all the things that she's currently working on. Just magnificent, timeless and ageless, Dee Wallace.
Quite
and you would never
intro.
know that.
Thank you. Good Lord.
It is truly, I mean, I love when you react to the accolades. It's not like some actors or many actors, very humility is not something that is like peripherally located, but for Dee, it absolutely is. And I love that about you. So tell us about whatever you want to talk about, but I do want to keep going on the healing aspect, because I think my listeners, and we do have people, I see the eyeballs rolling in. We've gotten a couple of fingers given, this finger, not the other one.
Good.
If you're driving, if you're driving right now, please do not stream and comment and question. But if you land wherever you're going right now, please do go into my YouTube channel, which houses all 906 shows and live streams. And so you can comment there, my Facebook, LinkedIn. Looking forward to getting to introduce you to one of my favorite people on the planet, Dee Wallace. So I would like to, how did you even get into healing? Because you're an actress and you're a successful actress. Like, I mean, that to me, I just got to interview Larry Kazanoff, who's behind Terminator 2, Mortal Kombat, Dirty Dancing. And, he just finished a documentary and is best friends with Thich Nhat Hanh, who's on the other side now. But I mean, I was like, how did that happen? Hollywood producer of violent movies becomes a Thich Nhat Hanh best friend. Like, so you, successful actress, E.T., I mean, all of it. The Screamer on CUJO.
Yeah.
How did that happen that you moved into? Take it away.
The easiest answer I can give you, Marissa, is I was born. I was just born, and I was born to do this. When I was little, I used to channel, and all kids do. Actually, all people do, but they're scared. They think it's, like something from the dark side or something. Channeling is just getting information. That's all it is. And all information is hanging out right above your heads, but you have to ask for it. You have to be open to receiving it. So I used to get a lot of conversations when I was little. Like one time I woke up, I was around 8 years old, and I was very, very close to my grandma. At that time, we lived apart. And I knew that there was something wrong at her house, and I went in and woke my mom up. Poor mom, she had to be at work at 7 a.m. This was like around 3 in the morning. I said, Mommy, something's wrong at Grandma's house. And God bless my mom. She got up and she called, and Grandma didn't answer. So we got in the car and we drove over to Grandma's house, and her cat had gotten up and turned all the burners on the stove, but they hadn't lit. So there was a lot of gas coming out. Who knows if Grandma would have been okay in the morning? But the fact was there was a dangerous thing going on at Grandma's house, and somehow I received the information. That used to happen a lot when I was little. I got into high school and college and sort of go away, for a while. And then I met my husband, Christopher Stone, and he was very involved in a philosophy called conceptology, which is a precursor of all of the secret and all of that. It channeled information that came through in the 30s. So we would go down to Anaheim and study conceptology. And then I found Science of Mind, which Dr. Beckwith teaches. Not Scientology, guys. Science of Mind is your thought creates your life. So I found that, and everything just started gelling for me. And then Christopher died. And I dropped to my knees and I said, I don't want to be pissed off. I don't want to be a victim. I want a way we can all heal ourselves. And like that, the channel came back alive. The first message I heard was use the light within you to heal yourself. So I've kind of been exploring and expanding on that ever since. And I have an amazing channel, a very, very accurate channel. Always tells you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. But I do it with a lot of love. And I have clients all over the world now that I do private. I have 5 private sessions today. So here we are.
And so here we are.
And so I wanted, Marissa, after all the privates, I started realizing that people know it, they read it, they study it, they don't live it. So that's why I wrote Born. Born is literally a formula for manifestation. If you follow the steps in Born, you absolutely will manifest and your life will change. I've already mentioned one really important chapter, which I call the 3 pillars: how I see myself, how I see the world, and how I see the world seeing me. So, for example, I can see myself as an actress, right? That's where it has to begin. I have to know I am an actress. Otherwise, nobody else can know that. But then I also want to choose to see a world where I can be an actress in. Like when I wanted to leave Kansas and go to New York, everybody said, my God, you've never been out of Kansas. Nobody knows you there. You don't know anybody. How do you think you're going to go to New York and be an actress, Dee? And I'm a big believer in naivete. I went, well, that's what I want to do. So I had taught a year of high school and I said, I'm out of here. I saw a world where it was possible. Now, the big challenge for me was how I saw the world seeing me. So, was I a little girl from Kansas that nobody would be interested in? And, I got that presented in my face a lot, so I could start realizing I had that belief. Like I met this guy at an audition, and I said, well, I want to audition for Uta Hagen. He said, oh, I studied for Uta, but I'm telling you, it's almost impossible to get in. I said, well, I want to do it. He said, well, I'll audition with you, but I'm just telling you, she's going to stop you 5 minutes in, and you'll probably have to go back 4 or 5 times, and then maybe you'll get in, as long as you're. So anyway, to cut to the chase, we went in. I auditioned with this little scene from a play called Mary, Mary. And he went, oh my God, you have to do a classic or something for Uta Hagen. I said, well, I did this little play in Kansas, and I thought I was pretty good at it. So we went in and did it. 5 minutes in, she says, I'm going to stop you there. And he goes, yeah, see. She said, where did you study? And I said, well, Miss Hagen, the most important teacher in my life was my mom. She was a wonderful actress in community theater. And I see him go like this. And she looked at me and she said, well, she taught you really well. I want you in my class. And I went,
Wow.
yeah, see, because I knew who I was, and I trusted my instincts. And I trusted that I didn't have to be somebody else to make it. And I just learned that over and over and over, and still learning it to this day, still learning it.
Interesting. Would you say that your expertise or mastery of these principles, law of attraction, was the foundation of your success as an actress with so many credits?
I would say that my success as an actress solidified the principles that I teach in my healing. Because I was living them without knowing what they were, and when you can truly identify them like I have done in Born, then you can purposefully go out and create your life. I grew up in such a dichotomy, Marissa. My dad was a severe alcoholic, couldn't work for a lot of my life. And he was also unbelievably creative, an entrepreneur. He created the first discount store in America. My mother was a secretary, but in her spare time, she lived her joy by acting in community theater. She produced and directed all the religious plays at our church. I often joke that I started out as baby Jesus and ended up as the Virgin Mary, which is true in my mother's plays. But somehow we would sit there and watch the hit parade. Do you remember the hit parade that would come on every Saturday night? Or the Miss America pageant. And they'd sit there and they'd go, you can do that, Dee Dee. You can be up there. You just believe in yourself. You can do that. So I had the, oh my God, what if something bad happens in life? And you can do it anyway, right? And those two things, along with my naivete, took me to New York. Like, I wrote a letter to Hal Prince, Marissa. Hal Prince was the biggest producer on Broadway at the time. And I had gotten the New York Times in our school library where I taught, and it said he's looking for an unknown to star in A Little Night Music. So I wrote him this very cheesy letter and sent him this very cheesy picture like this. I wish I still had that letter. But 3 weeks later, his assistant called and said, Mr. Prince got your letter. He wants to fly you to New York to audition. You know, most people would have said, are you crazy? He's never going to answer your letter, right? And that's what we do. We stop ourselves before we even put it out there. You know how I got on the lot when I got to LA, because you never could get past the guards, you know, at the gates. So I did what we all do in Kansas. I baked a whole bunch of cookies, wrapped them up in beautiful cellophane and bows, put them in the back seat, and I said, hi, I've got deliveries. He said, okay, go on through. So I spent the whole day delivering cookies to all the casting directors. The last one was Reuben Cannon, who was the head casting director. Came out, he went, oh my God, chocolate chip cookies, my favorite. Come on in, talk to me. While I was in there, he got a call from Lucas Tanner, and the girl playing the waitress was sick. And her scene was up next. What should they do? And he covered the phone and looked at me and he said, what size do you wear? I said, what size do you need, babe? That was my first film experience in LA. Now, could I have planned that? No. But if I hadn't taken the initiative to bake chocolate chip cookies and go over there, I wouldn't have been there. You see, that's how the universe works with you. You don't have to be ultra specific about how it happens. Not your job. Our job is, this is what I want. And I can tell you, most of us think we know what we want. But when I work with people and I ask, give me one clear sentence about what you want. Well, I guess the universe is like your partner. They can't give you what you want if you're not clearly asking for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that is how, if you've just tuned in and you're wondering who this beautiful inside and out woman is in my studio for the third time, her name is Dee Wallace. She is the number one. I'm looking for the way that he said it. Harlan did, and peace in, peace out. I love Harlan, and I know you do. And a lot of my wonderful guests are from thanks to Harlan's introduction. But right now, Dee Wallace is the number one living with the most credits, over 280 credits to her name. And she's in studio now chatting with me about how you can take care of yourself and be happy and successful and self-love and create what you want. And so we're, of course, going into the last part of the show. And I was hoping to benefit selfishly a little bit from your connection with Source, that strong connection,
Sure.
and have you do a little reading on me. But make sure you go out and get the book Born, B-O-R-N. Is it out now? Because in the write-up, it's coming out.
On Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or you can write me at my website and I will inscribe it for you if you so choose.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And do you mind if I get one copy as the Asian Oprah giveaway today and sort of put you on the spot?
I would love to do that.
So the first person to go to drmarissa.life and put ET or Dee Wallace in there, or self-love, I'll know who you are, will get a copy of her wonderful book, Born, B-O-R-N, but go and get it. But the last 8 minutes of this show, I'm going to ask Dee to tell me, am I supposed to have a question? Or
more specific the question.
Yes?
Yeah, I work with a pendulum, so the more specific the question, the more the channel can specifically answer you.
What can I do to not block my heart's desires?
Okay, so I just want to
Or
point
what
out,
can I do more of?
see, she didn't really ask for what she wanted. She said, what can I do to not block? You see how we're taught to ask for the positive by stating the negative? So what you want to ask is, how can I fully open my heart to receive all my heart's desires? Right? What do I need to get
And there's that hesitation of asking for specific, because I grew up with, you're not all that and you don't deserve. And so there's still that, what if it doesn't come true? And at the same time, you were talking about, I know that everything that has happened in my life are what-cots. What are the chances of that? Because I will reach out like you did to the guy with the letter, would you like to be on my show? And out of the blue, nobody knows who I am. And that's how I got Janine Roth. And that's how I got, all these giant people, because I have no fear to
Marissa,
ask for that.
Okay, so you would think that now you had enough proof to replace those limiting beliefs that you were taught. So there's two things the channel wants to give you. Hold on, this page here. Yeah, well, you just spoke to it. I love how this works. I do not have permission to love who I am. And guys, we are the only ones that are going to give us permission. Our moms and dads were never taught that. They can't do it for you. Your mate can't do it for you. Your priest or your minister or your rabbi can't do it for you. You are the God of you on this plane that must give yourself permission to love yourself. That's the first thing, Marissa. The second thing, sheets. But give me a song, any song that pops into your mind.
Greatest love of all
is you. The greatest love of all is ourself. And when we truly are the energy of love, you have to see the world through the perspective of love, not through the perspective of lack, not through the perspective of waiting for confirmation, right? So if I had said, well, I need guarantees in my life, or I'm not going to be an actor, I would never be an actor. And you would never be in the position of being this great host and with all your successes that you are. But the prison then for you, Marissa, is to joyfully give yourself permission to love yourself enough to know that you've done it and you did it and the universe worked with you. And that's the way it's supposed to be, guys. That's the way it's supposed to be. But until we know that and live it, we don't get proof of it. And then we stay in doubt. And what is doubt? It's a negative prayer. Worry is a negative prayer. Right? So we don't want to pray.
Yeah. And 88%.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And 88% of the time, I'm there. And 12% of the time, I don't want to ask that I have a household name platform. That would be what I desire for the
Why?
message of hope and
What's going to
happiness.
happen, Marissa? What's going to happen if you have a household name? What's going to happen? I'll give you a clue. It's all about God. So why is God going to, what was your message about God's judgment if you get everything you want and you're some big highfalutin star?
You're too big for your britches. You are bringing shame to the family.
That's the
You
one
are
right there. It's the shame upon the family. You think your family's ashamed of you, Marissa?
Yeah, it's funny.
Do you
Yeah,
think?
I spent 2 weeks with my mom who's in, yeah, she is. Still is, you know.
She's ashamed of
But
you? Hold on. She's ashamed
yeah.
of you? Well,
Uh-huh.
my advice is to bless her and love her, know her limitations of what she's been taught, and go create yourself in the greatest you can be.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to
and received and accepted, and I'm doing. Yeah.
I'm doing.
And then the other one is having that relationship, right? That complements me the way you were talking about before, whole person. So now Michael said that this year is going to be the year. And I had a psychic medium on who said this year is going to be the year for that. And the only thing holding me back
Marissa.
is me.
That's up to you. I want you to hear that. It's up to you. It's not some kind of fate. If you're in alignment with it, and there's one thing, hold on, sheets. Give me a movie, any movie that pops in.
E.T.
Okay. You see, when you think of a relationship, your heart closes. Why? What relationship between your mom and your dad did you witness? You can't say,
horrible.
I don't want a relationship like that, and bring in the relationship you want. So make a list. My channel is so big on lists. Make a list of every attribute you want in that person. And then I teach everybody to find a love place. And your love place is anything you think about that makes you smile and makes your heart open. I go right to my doggy or Gabby when she was a little baby. So do you have a love place? Okay.
Where I live.
Feels like. That's what it feels like to have that relationship in your life. That's all you have to do.
That's beautiful.
But
I got it. It clicked. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. We're out of time.
I know.
I'm so blessed to, I love you very much. And it is all about balance. Dee Wallace in studio. Remember, it is peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Bless you. Go get her book, Born. Now go and have the best day ever. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Dee. Love you so much.
Love you. Thanks, everybody.